What's up? What's up, everybody? Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're going to be getting started in about 14 minutes. Going to play some music in the meantime, but we'll be getting going here right at 11:30. If you're watching later, and this is part's not cut out yet, just scroll forward about 14 minutes in, we'll be getting started. Got jobs reports in today. Market swinging around a little bit. Bulls looking weak. What are we supposed to do? We're going to be breaking down some of those charts today, talking about where things are going. Are we going to pump or are we going to dump? Let me know in the chat right now. Let me know in the comments down below if you're watching later. Do you think we are going to pump over this weekend between now and Sunday, or are we going to dump? Let me know your thoughts. Alexandra G says Dumpski. We got Brad Guidell in the house. Crimson Caravan, Bit Voodoo says he made it just in time for the jams. JS, what's up? Alex Green, my main guy. Falco, how you doing? Crypto Curly Floyd. What else we got in here? Justin Eubanks, Red Elephant, Karen Swigart Harris. Dale Rodriguez. Big shout out to everybody that shows up early every day. I am starting a morning stream next week. Kind of capture some of those morning vibes. It's not going to be a live stream. I'm going to record it about maybe very soon before I actually post it. Basically, I'm going to record it at my house before I leave. Charts I'm looking at for the day. It's going to be about a 15-minute or so stream. Get people to know what to look at for the day. Maybe I'll go a little bit longer than that, but just want to let everybody know we're going to have that morning stream and the midday stream Eastern time. So everybody stay involved. We're going to be rolling out the BitLab memberships here soon as well. I think some of the longer form stuff that we do are going to be for members only. But I'm here for you guys. I love you guys. We're pumping out a lot more content now, doing a lot more shorts, doing a lot more produced content. I'll be doing content that's going to be twice a week on Discover Crypto as well. A lot of lessons and all kind of stuff. We got a lot of stuff coming. Some other contributing content creators and brilliant people that are going to be adding to some of the content that's in BitLab Academy as well. Woo! Sawtooth Hiker in the house. Granny's Garden. Praneet Hezbollah. Got you new live. Thank you for being here. Big love. If this is the first time you're here, we jam some tunes 15 minutes or so before we go live. We chat with everybody here. Everybody type in where you're tuned in from, what city, what state, what country. We might have some new people in here. Let's tie together the community, baby. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding that bell. Let's get vibed up. We're going to have a good stream today, baby. Tulsa, Oklahoma, Dallas, Texas, Los Angeles. Crimson Caravan Company apparently is from whoop whoop. No, he's from Dallas. British Columbia, Canada in the house. What's up, River? How you doing? Granny's Garden, how you doing? I'm George too. Good morning. Red Elephant. I love you guys. Feel like we got a little family here. All right, it's roll call time, everybody. I want to see those laugh coats flying. I want to see some coins you're looking at. And I don't want to just see coins you're looking at, but what are you seeing? Have you seen some setups, some breakouts? Let me know in the chat right now. I want to see everybody participate in the live chat before this stream gets started. Let's get that engagement up. Let's tie together our community. We're getting started in 2 minutes, darlings. What's up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Welcome to the BitLab Academy daily stream, wherever you are at, wherever you are from. My name's Kellam. Welcome to the show. We got to talk about some things. We got to talk about this market. We want it to go up. We want it to go up only. But is that really how you make money? No. If markets are going only up, then you're setting yourself up for failure. And if you're looking at only opportunities for it to go up, you're missing out on 50% of the trades. And you're also not allowing yourself to acknowledge risk management and looking at those counter trends, looking at price going in the opposite direction from what your bias is. You have to know what your bias is in order to do well in this market. So everybody, we got 25 people in the room. Every single one of you, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button, ding the bell, and let's jump right on into it today. We got to talk about the jobs reports. We got to talk about this economic data. We don't give a shit about that. Sorry for the language, but it's true. But do we or don't we? Maybe we don't because we're not looking broadly enough at what's going on in the markets. All these things are affecting the risk mentality of investors and traders. So if we're seeing that, I think the consensus expectation was around 170,000 for non-farm payroll. I mean, I'm trying to, where's my mouse at? Trying to find my mouse. There we go. Expectation was around 170,000. Go ahead and bring it up right here. See this? Non-farm payroll. Boom. 171,000. Came in at 336. I know you might have heard it on every other YouTuber this morning, but we got to talk about it. We have to understand what this means. Why? Understand the context of this, because although we may think we don't care about this, and this is what we're trying to get out of the traditional finance economy, in reality, all these things are still tied together because Bitcoin has been affected by what's happening with capital in the markets. Capital in the markets has been affected by what the risk narrative is. And risk narrative is determined by what people are doing and their strategies looking forward in terms of where interest rates are headed. Are they going to hike again? Are they going to pause? When is quantitative easing coming? Are reductions a pivot from the Fed with reductions in interest rates? All these things are very high on the mind, high in priority in the lens of people looking into the future, in the near-term future. Now, in Bitcoin, near-term may feel like a 15-minute chart, but in reality, what we really need to pay attention to is the next 3 months, the next 6 months, the next year. Now, of course, with Bitcoin, we are very aware. And if you're not aware yet, then you haven't done any diligence, and that's okay because you're here at BitLab Academy. We're going to break it down for the beginners and advanced strategies for the pros. That's what we do here at BitLab Academy. Now, when we're thinking about, this next 3 months, 6 months, year, we know that the halving is coming up. We know that things are programmed to most likely be better. Bulls getting reignited, that fire for that parabolic uptrend that everybody's waiting on. That's what we've been waiting on for the last 3 years. Well, is it going to happen yet? Is it going to be delayed in terms of, is the parabola going to come straight out of the halving? Are we going to get that pre-halving pump? All of these things are important considerations, and in order to understand it, we've got to look at things like the economic data, this calendar, seeing unemployment change, unemployment rate, the average hourly earnings, the non-farm payroll, unemployment, all these things, although they feel arbitrary and on the fringe, they directly impact broadly global investor sentiment. Now, the stock market, man, I still got the coughs. The stock market just tapped into extreme fear. What does this mean for risk markets? Extreme fear does not say, hey, let's go throw in risky investments, because extreme fear in traditional assets, maybe we're not hitting extreme fear in crypto yet, but these things are basically tied together. One may move this direction and then this one's still holding up, but then it moves very quickly. Risk assets have higher volatility. That's why when you have an uncertain situation in the economy, that's why when you have, let me say that again, risk assets typically incur more volatility, meaning they move faster to the upside and faster to the downside. We have to pay attention to what's going on in the broader economy, at least as it stands right now, still for Bitcoin and especially for altcoins, because they incur higher volatility, because they have much higher risk attached to them. Smaller market caps, easier to move, easier to push around. Even if we take manipulation out of it, smaller amounts of monetary energy move the price on these. And so if risk is coming out of the market, we've seen that broadly. Now, we've seen tech stocks perform astronomically well in ways that a lot of people are like, where's this recession? Well, we also have to consider the seasonality of these things. When we're looking at these numbers from today, 336,000 compared to 171,000. Well, why is this? Well, what month is it? It's October. Now, can this account for everything? Yes, I broadly just said October. What's coming up? What's coming up in the U.S. in the next 3 months? Holiday season. So people don't just hire on December 1st for these things. They start planning ahead. We got Black Friday coming up. We have this, basically the largest retail sales happen in the holiday season and leading up to the holiday season. And in order to do that, you have to hire workers to account for all that extra traffic in stores and all that extra traffic on websites and all that extra traffic in production and logistics. All these things are tied together. So while we see this number, let's understand the number so it makes sense to us. And the reason why this is so important is because everybody's wondering, are we going to get another interest rate hike? Well, this suggests maybe we need another interest rate hike because the jobs report is showing that things are just incredibly resilient. Things are scaling up. But are they scaling up, or is it a seasonality-based thing? Well, if we come over to this chart right here, we see this is a breakdown of what those numbers account for, or how they're accounted for. Excuse me. Retail sales, right? Where you go and you buy, shop, all this sort of stuff. Huge increase, almost a 20% increase, a little bit, about 19%. We got transportation and warehouse. We got, I mean, this is a huge swing. This is almost 18, basically 19% back to zero, and then another 8.6%. So 27% roughly increase there, transportation and warehousing. Now remember, retail and trade, both these things are tied together with transportation and warehousing. Products, goods, scaling into all these sales that are coming. And then we also have leisure and hospitality. What do people do during the holiday season? They travel. They travel in the summer for vacation, and they travel in the winter for, yes, some vacation, but also a lot of family-oriented things. Whether it's traveling for a vacation, just going to, the Yellowstone National Park, or during the winter, going to maybe do a ski resort or go family meeting up together, traveling to a city, and, you can't stay at the same house. You're booking travel to get there, but then also you're booking things for family. That's up from 44 to 96. So while the number is scary, the question remains, how does Chair Powell, man, I wish I would stop being sick, all this travel. How is Jerome Powell and the Fed going to manage these numbers in context with what they want to do in regards to inflation, in regards to monetary policy? This is why when you look at the Bitcoin chart today, ooh, look, we got a little bit of a breakout. This happened since 8 o'clock or 8 or 9 o'clock, because 9 o'clock, if we come over here to the BitLab Academy YouTube page, you can see on this graphic, the thumbnail for this page alone, you can see if we come back to this page right here, you can see right in this, the zone, in the flag area, that was a pretty big drop there. Now coming back, man, I wish I would stop being sick. This is bothering me. We can see that this is getting a little bit of break. But this right here, this is why on crypto especially, or any risk asset, you need to pay attention not only to patterns, but also to the fact that the price action is it's very easy for these markets to be moved in ways to trap you both to the upside or the downside. So we need, I need, us retail, all of us, there's not a person that has over $1 billion in the bank that watches this stream. So every one of you, and myself included, we are the bottom of the barrel in terms of our participation in this space. We are the retail chumps that donate money to these big investors, whether they're smart money, institutional, because we're getting trapped by our emotions. Gesundheit. Got it. So we had this down here. We broke out to the downside, and now we're breaking out to the upside. Liquidity traps in both directions. We're going to come back to this. We're going to do a bunch of TA on this in just a little bit. But point being here is we get these job numbers. We got volatility on the fear of that. Also because it's easy to push it in that direction, get it a little bit going, and then people get trapped down here. They sell because they're scared, and then other people, smarter money, institutions, the BlackRocks, the fund managers, and the people out there that can really, really move this market, and also people that understand this market, even if they don't have huge accounts. There's also professional traders out there that may not have $1 billion. Maybe they have 5 million. Maybe they have 1 million. Maybe they have whatever allocation within crypto. But they can take advantage of this to get a lower entry for a long, only to trap it back up here and potentially come back down. So we got to pay attention to all these things. Don't forget to hit that like button, Alexander G says. Shout out to Alexander G. VRVP is fire. What's it looking like right now? What's the BitLab volume looking like? Look at that, getting trapped and oscillating back and forth between these zones. We have the order block right below us here on the BitLab volume, part of the BitLab trading stack. Comes back up, pushes up into this area, rejects down, comes up, forms a giant order block above us, come down, we lose it into this order block, come back up. Now we're exploring the topside liquidity within the order block above us. So what say you? All of you that are watching, is this going to break the trend and actually continue to the upside? Or is this going to be trapped in the zone and potentially come down? Let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts. B Team Crypto, what's up? Ninja Fourth. Jeanette said, I like the earlier time. I could listen to it on my way to work. Well, things are changing here. I apologize. I know that, changing the schedules kind of jacks some people up. As I mentioned, if anybody that hadn't heard yet, I'll say it right here. Just so everybody knows, we have the 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time BitLab live stream. We're going to be focusing on a little bit of news, a lot of TA, breaking down what's going on in these markets so we can be there with you and walk you through what the hell's going on and what the best strategies are to dominate in this market and not be dominated. But I will also be doing a morning pre-recorded stream that's going to be breaking down some of the key charts, things that I pull from Twitter, things I pull from Glassnode, different TA setups that I'm seeing. It'll be a little bit shorter pre-recorded stream that's going to be going live at about 10 a.m. Eastern Time. So just shout that out. Everybody know it. And I just want to let you all know that I do care about you. And these time changes are only so we can bring you better content and more of it. That's what this is all about. So everybody hit that like button right now. Hit that subscribe button. Ding the bell. Be a part of this community. Engage with this community. Get involved with BitLab Academy. Even if you already understand all the stuff, part of that membership is not just the courses. The courses, in a way, are extra. It's the premium Discord. We're going to be getting DZ in there. We're going to be getting the other content creators at Discover Crypto, as well as myself, where we're all going to be participating in that Discord a lot more often. And that is right here. Looking right here, we got John Dalton was calling out a couple different options here, or not options, a couple different assets here on setups and stop losses and what he was seeing here. And this was just the gym calls. We got scalp calls coming in here. We got so much here in the BitLab Academy Discord. So get involved. I mean, we break this stuff down. We have such a wide community. It's not just me. I'm here on camera with you for the live streams. I do a lot of the content in BitLab Academy, but we've got about, I don't even know how many. We've got dozens and dozens and dozens of people that I'm specifically aware of that offer incredible content within BitLab Academy on a daily basis, as well as myself, as well as Alex Green as well. There's so many different people in here. So get involved. Join us over at BitLab Academy, bitlabacademy.com. You come right here. You can click on enroll now. Brings you up to this page right here. If you want the premium Discord, have access to that, which you also get access to all the courses right here. I want all access. You can still use Give Me 30 for 30% off your first month. If you want all the courses, the premium Discord, and all of our indicators, the whole indicator set, BitLab Trading Stack, sign up for the Pro. You get about a 30% discount every month. But you can also use that Give Me 30 for 30% off your first month, additional 30% off. And that gives you everything right here. Now, coming back over to what we wanted to talk about today, let's kind of go through it. If you haven't yet, head over to my page at Kelly Kellam. Give me a follow. You can also see it right next to, right there, the spelling, bing, 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 Kelloy, Kellam. There's only one of me. Look for the check mark. Why did the hit thing disappear? I wonder. And then we got BitLab Academy right here. We could see. Make sure you're following this. And then everybody, I forgot to mention this yesterday. We are doing a giveaway. I'm going to be drawing on Monday. So if you're watching this later, if you're watching this weekend, everybody come over to @Academy BitLab, retweet this tweet, hit the like button, make sure you're following all three of those things. Follow BitLab Academy, hit the retweet, hit the like button. I did not promote this that much earlier this week. So this is going to be all for you that are doing this. In fact, I will say specifically, it is for this Friday tweet. This tweet today, this video that you're watching, this tweet right here. Hit the retweet, hit the like button, hit the follow button. I'm giving away 3-month membership to BitLab Pro and $100. And we're going to be drawing from the people that are participating and getting the word out there about our new time, and also sharing this link for today's stream. Now, coming back over to what we want to talk about. We want Bitcoin and crypto, our alts, our DGen portfolio, and everything. We want the prices to go up. I say to you, is that really what we want? No, it's not what we want. What we want is we want the value and the capital that we have access to go up. So who cares if price goes up or down? Let's identify our strategy that can best serve us for making the capital in our life go up. That means the price can go up or down. Who cares? Let's have a strategy in place that we can take advantage of price action volatility going in either direction. Let's not have a bias. Because I will argue right now, even though you see this little pump, everybody thinks, oh, this is going all the way back up. Well, I mean, we've seen this. Look at how many times. Boom, boom, boom. Yes, we got a little bit of a higher high here. We do have some stacking higher lows as well, but we are still pre-halving. There's still a lot of chop. There's still a lot of liquidity that's going to be stolen from those that don't have a strategy. So let's understand what the context is. We saw the jobs report. Let's kind of go through a couple of the other things. 30-year Treasury yield just surpassed the 5% threshold. This level was last seen August 2007. When was that? What happened in 2008? The great housing crisis where markets absolutely dumped. See this? Right before the financial market collapse. See this level right here? See this level right here? And then look at this massive pullback on the basically 30-year Treasury yields. But this area, when we marked up, when the Treasury yield percentage basically went up into this zone, these yields double topped, and this marked markets dumping. We're up in this zone again. Does this mean markets are going to immediately dump? No, maybe we get the same sort of double top. Maybe they do dump immediately, but things aren't looking like they're setting up for further upside, especially, with the question about interest rates, and we're looking at all kind of other things. Well, also look at this. Now, even the COVID-19 excess savings have likely depleted. The consumer is in a tough spot. I'm coughing at this lack of savings. Not really. I'm just not feeling good. But what happens when you don't have savings? And we've talked about this a lot over the last 2 or 3 weeks. We have seen that credit, retail credit is up over $1 trillion. Credit defaults are pervasive. They're happening everywhere. Credit bankruptcies in general. Now we also see savings down to the lows that it was before COVID. Where is the capital coming from if we're expecting price to go up? Now there's an argument to be made. That although there's not a lot of capital, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of available capital to pump up traditional markets and maybe Bitcoin and crypto as well. On the other hand, everybody's asking, but isn't Bitcoin supposed to be a hedge against traditional assets? Shouldn't we be just pouring our capital into something like Bitcoin because we don't trust the traditional finance system? Well, we could argue that, but that's not yet the case in reality. There's a lot of smart money out there. There's a lot of institutions that are getting involved. There's a lot of major sort of asset manager players or people that have dabbled in that sort of realm of trading and finance. And this is still large in part tied to, very correlated with risk assets. So you have to ask yourself, is it more likely that the Bitcoin is going to break away right now or not? And if it's not, then how do I protect myself? How do I get engaged in this market in a meaningful way and also hedge myself so I don't lose money? Sometimes hedging yourself is taking profits or exiting that asset, depending on what your timeline is and what your strategy is. So have you asked yourself, I want everybody right now in the chat, everybody watching, if you can do it in the live chat or comment down below, have you asked yourself or checked in with yourself or journaled or anything in any regard that has been, in some essence, checking in with yourself, asking, what is my strategy? What is my timeline? What's my goal with each asset you're holding? Now, maybe you have 2 different segments. Maybe you have a long-term goal, long-term horizon for the majority of your portfolio. Maybe you have 15% that's a trading allocation and you're looking very short-term and you're in and out of trades. But the point being is, if you have not checked in with yourself and are holding yourself accountable to a consistent strategy, then you're not going to make it. And that's just a fact. So check in with yourself. Now, coming back over here, no savings. Now let's look at this next chart. Well, I'll tell you what's been a great investment. Look at this, orange juice. I'm not suggesting go to invest in orange juice, but this is just a point out the sort of bizarre nature of a lot of things going on in the markets right now. Orange juice prices are rising so fast, they just hit their upper limit threshold and were halted. Since the 2020 low, the price of orange juice is up a massive 315%. 315% up. Look at this. This is a parabola if I ever seen one. Meanwhile, live cattle prices are up 125% since 2020. So you wonder why your steaks are more expensive? Cattle prices have gone up incredibly. Olive oil prices up 130%. What does it mean when food prices outperform hedge funds? Let's look at this. The jump in various food commodity prices is not entirely due to inflation. However, rising food prices certainly are contributing to the ongoing issues. It truly is a unique time to be an investor and a trader. I mean, we have to understand, yes, we're going to look left, do historical analysis, try to understand where things are going and how we can best prepare. But you also have to understand that there's a lot of uncertainty because markets are doing things that we haven't really seen before and in different ways than things have been done. While we, at the same time, having this emerging asset class that, in theory at least, and I hold to a very high probability, I do think Bitcoin is going to take a lot, it's going to, I don't want to say siphon off, but I do think there's going to be a lot of reallocation of capital from different assets and equities and commodities into Bitcoin. It's going to be a vacuum for capital over the next 15, 20 years. So remember, while we're looking at this, volatility, we're looking at a 4-hour chart. When we look at this, on the weekly chart or monthly chart over a larger period of time, this is going to be what the yearly chart looks like in the, in 10 years from now, 15 years from now. We'll start seeing, this same sort of, rather than being this macro weekly chart, we'll be able to look at the yearly chart, and it's going to be this bull run, this essentially bull run. Essentially what we're seeing is here, the trend here is like this. Now, if I come here like this, so you see how this, this is not the exact level. Let's actually move this. Let's go closer towards the lows. We'll somewhat ignore, I don't want to say ignore, but we'll call these deviations, these large bullish impulses to the upside, deviations. Now let's turn off the indicators, turn off BitLab volume. And if this is the case, then this is a very abstract and crude way to look at this. But just to give you an idea, if this is a trend, it is having, a little bit of a curvature over time. But if we go into, let's say, okay, this is November 2032. This is $672,000. Yes. Now, some people have said there's a $10 million possibility, $1 million possibility. Now, at the end of the day, I do think that we are going to, this is not going to be like the highest level we get by the time 2032 happens. Also, look at this. We're kind of coming up on the top side of the lows through all of this. So if this were to continue, you'll get something like this. And it'll probably get smaller and smaller and smaller. Now, this is not going to be exact. It may even be something different. Like maybe we get one big one. That's going to be way too big. Let's go like into the, let's go to like right here, like 375. And then, something where it flattens out over time. The point is that we have this curvature. This almost log, I think we can actually pull this up. I used to have it on here, logarithmic growth curves. Boom. So this is pointing to even less. This is a bit conservative. But the point being is we are trending in the right direction over time for an asset that we want to be in. So when we look at stuff like we're having all this weird noise in the market with everybody trying to figure out how the hell they're supposed to predict what's going on, and so they could trade wisely over the next 1 to 3 months or 6 months, or figure out, should I be selling? Is the market about to crash in terms of traditional assets or not? Everything seems to be up in the air. The uncertainty right now, I think, is the biggest limiting factor on why Bitcoin is not performing as everybody wants it to. And what I mean by not performing as everybody really wants it to is if we take this off and we zoom in on this, we can see, let's turn off this logarithmic growth curve. I just want to point something out here. We do Option F from the top here to the bottom. Look at this. This pushes up into this golden pocket, 14 or just shy of $14,000. Okay, let's see what happened in this previous cycle. Option F, top to bottom. I'm marking this to the bottom here. At some point, look at this. We came, let's actually pull up the halving too. Bitcoin halving events. Okay, so look at this. Golden pocket was hit before the halving. Golden pocket was hit substantially before the halving. So we have two different opportunities here, but the golden pocket was still hit. So what does that mean for where we're at now? Will that even be possible based on the macroeconomic environment? Golden pocket's up here at $48,000. Where's the halving going to be? Halving's going to be about August. Let's do it right in the middle of August, August 12th. Yeah. Halving's going to be about right there. Now, if we look here, that was about 300 days, almost a year, 300 days before the halving. This one here, if we zoom in, was, well, let's go over here. This was not long at all. This was 35 days before the halving. So two very, very different scenarios. So I want you to pay attention to this. When you're doing historical analysis, don't look at this and be like, man, this look, so within 300 days of the halving, we're absolutely going to hit the golden pocket. It doesn't work that way. Things are going to be different because the stimulus and the different variables that are surrounding whatever asset you're trading are always going to be different every single day. The adoption is going to be different. The monetary energy needed to drive prices to certain levels is going to have a higher need for more monetary energy. But also the climate around the SEC and governments, and not just in the US, but governments around the world and their regulating bodies. What are going to be the different impacts that either support, empower, or deny and restrict the different assets that you're investing in? So we can see two different opportunities in terms of how we got up to the golden pocket, and entirely different timeframes and where they were in relationship to the Bitcoin halving. So when we look at this, we can't say it's going to hit the golden pocket, which I do think it will do at some time, but we're looking at this in relationship to where the halving is likely going to be, because remember, this is just a forecasted zone, because the halving isn't a specific date. The halving is 210,000 blocks. Blocks are every 10 minutes on average, but sometimes they're a little longer, sometimes they're a little shorter. So the predicted area is around August. Let's even see if this, let's update this forecast. I want you to see what I'm doing right now. I have a question. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm doing it live on air with you right now. I'm pulling up something every single one of you has access to, and that's Google or any search engine that you're using, and type in your question. When is the Bitcoin halving forecasted? Let's see what it says. April 25th. Okay, so this one says April 25th. Let's see if there's other. Here's a countdown here by Bitcoin website. So this one says April 17th. So you just see, I Googled it and it gave two different dates. This is why you have to understand the nature of the assets that you're investing in, so you don't take one thing and say that's the absolute thing. Understanding that it's 210,000 blocks every 10 minutes on average. Therefore, based on how congested the network is, how fast blocks are being processed between now and then, it could change by a matter of a few days or even a few weeks. So be aware of that. The point being is we have an idea roughly where the halving is going to be. I guessed August 12th. I was off just a little bit. So let's put it right there. Let's put it right in the middle of those two. August 19th, we'll put it there. So are we going to have this rocket ship up, which we could absolutely have? Are we going to have this up into this zone, $48,000, $49,000? And then a rejection down and accumulation through the halving? Or are we going to, I mean, look at this. We have a bit of a channel that we are forming. What if this would frustrate the most people? Would this be max pain? Would that be max pain? Or is this going to happen? Fake people out, come down, lose this, come down, test down into the lower 20s, and then work our way up. There's different opportunities for what price is going to do. It's going to be impacted largely, and for the most part, by some of these major factors that are integrated into this sentiment of and driving the sentiment of what's happening in Bitcoin and crypto. but somewhat external because we don't have impact on, we don't have a driving impact or knowledge of what the SEC is going to decide to do. What if they decide, like these news reports said the last couple of days, insider from BlackRock suggests that SEC is going to mass approve all the stuff in the next, by the end of the year. What if that does happen? What if Gary Gensler is so, he's just tired of losing? Because let's be honest, he's losing. All these different court cases he's doing and bringing against crypto, he just keeps getting slapped down. So what if that happens? But we can't predict that to happen. We just have to be ready if it does. What if more court cases are brought, or more large court cases are brought in other countries? We saw the impact of the Chinese mining ban. Where was that at? Chinese mining ban was right here. What happened? Boom. So it's not just the US. We got to pay attention to what's happening in India. We got to pay attention to what's happening in China. We got to pay attention to what's happening in the broader Eurasia area. We got to pay attention to all these different factors in conjunction with the ETFs, in conjunction with SEC, and all these things have major impacts as to what the price can do. The point being is, we are still pre-halving, so let's not worry about all the noise here and get so shaken out of our boots and be frustrated, because we shouldn't be doing some huge, incredible performance right now because we're pre-halving. We're not even considering the macro uncertainty right now. This is by nature an uncertain territory. And then you throw on top of that the macro uncertainty. So we come over here. If we come over to total trad markets, let's just take a peek at this. Dixie pushing up, starting to roll over. Is this going to set up for some risk on sort of mentality? We pushed all the way up over 107. Now we're starting to roll over. If we lose this level, let's go ahead and bring it large. If we lose the level that we're at right here, which we're kind of flirting with, maybe we come down. Where will we come down to? This would come down to this area right here, previous high. If it loses that, right in this zone here next, because this is a high, this is a low. Next would be down here at this line down here. So boom, boom, boom. And if this happens, it's not just going to do that. It'll likely do this and this and then this and then this. You see, same way it came up. But if this does happen, why do we care about the Dixie? Because this gives us a sort of temperature check on where the risk narrative may be shifting in the market. So coming back out, coming over here to the NASDAQ. Okay, where did it come down to? Right here at this arrow. I broadcasted it to people. I said, okay, this is rolling over. Not only is this rolling over, okay, we've lost this level. I'm looking for a likely bounce at this zone right here. The zone I was talking about is this zone right here where it bounced, which is this massive support, 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 support. What did it end up being? Support. Does this mean the NASDAQ's about to go straight up? No, we did bounce here and come up, but we have yet to clear the lows of this range. And even if we do, it's more likely that this is going to come up and we have another area on this larger level of resistance here, especially considering all the questions about monetary policy. Now, let's actually look. Let's look together. CME, Fed, CME. Let's see if this has shifted since the job report information came out. Remember the other day it was about 70-30? Still, it's about 70-30. Okay, so we're still in a pause sort of mentality, continued pause. This is only for the next thing. We're going to have to keep an eye on this. When is the meeting date's October 1st, so about 3 weeks from now. So coming back over here, what else are we looking at? S&P 500 ETF. Look at that. Head and shoulders, lost it. What was the measurement? Measurement was right here. Come like this. Got pretty close. Now it's having a little bit of a relief here. We got to watch to see if this starts pushing up. Point with all this is, yes, we want to trade Bitcoin. Yes, we want to trade altcoins. Yes, we want to trade AVAX and Quant and GRT and AVAX and Render and all your favorite coins. AGIX. What else? Phantom. Link, Doge was just in the news. We got to take a look at Doge today based on the lawsuit with Elon Musk and the SEC. DOT, MINA, HBAR. We want XRP. We want Atom, Algo. We want to trade all these things. But we can't trade it out of context of being completely unaware of the pressures that are on these markets right now. So let's get back over to these altcoins and crypto and Bitcoin. Let's talk about it. So I got Bitcoin. I got the dollar on here now. Let's get over to this. Okay, a lot of noise here. What did we look at? These are the levels around over here. I was talking about levels this could go to. What happened? It pushed up, came down, found support right at this previous level, came up higher than the level I was expecting, but took out this level and then came down and found support. What was this level? The 27.45. So what it's looking like right now is potentially a bullish setup because we got a bit of a W pattern here, but currently we have a lower high. Let's go ahead and delete that. Let's go ahead and look at here. Okay, so now we're pushing back into the order block sort of resistance level. And remember, mind you, this level that the price pushed up to, look at where my cursor is. This is basically touching into the previous lows here. So this is going to be a critical juncture. You want to know, is Bitcoin going to pump or dump? And just so you know, when I talk about pumping and dumping, and when I'm talking about Bitcoin, I'm not talking about looking at a 12-hour candle with this sort of move here. When I'm talking about a pump, I'm talking about this. I'm asking, are we going to pump? Not are we going to have a sip of tea and take a step up a stair, okay? In this case, we do have something started, something bullish, something nice, and that is the fact that we have rising higher lows. In this case, it's getting, we can look at it like this. This is starting to curve up in this direction. If we actually take a curved line, where are you at? I can never find a curved line. Here. It's a curved line. I don't draw the curved lines very much. It doesn't matter where a parabola is starting to form if we can push up and take out this high. And the next time we pull back, we create even a higher low at a sharper angle. What do I mean by sharper angle? We see this like this. This is basically how parabolas are formed. Oops. Put this down. This is how parabolas are formed. Where you're getting this higher low and then even a higher angle of attack low and then even a higher angle of attack low. But we have a lot of work to do, which is this level right here, 28.9, 28.7, this sort of region, 28.650 up to 28.9, okay? That's the wicks here and the candle bodies. When we get up to this level, if we reject, then again, we're having another lower high. But as it stands, we did break out of this descending level of resistance, so it feels good. But when we are in a downtrend, and yes, we broke out of this downtrend resistance, but we still have yet to even tap the lows of this previous range. So I'm not saying we're not going to go up. I'm saying we need to be cautious because it's these moves right here. It's this type of price action that hurts the most people. Now, I am not saying don't trade it. I'm not saying don't buy, don't sell. I'm not telling you to buy or to sell. I will never tell you any of that. I will show you the setups that I'm looking at and the data that I'm sort of pulling together that's informing me. In this case, where we're at right now, yeah, you could trade it. If you're a skilled trader, you've gone through all of BitLab Academy, you've gone through all the courses, you've been practicing, you know, and you understand your risk management and you understand how to navigate the markets, more so navigate your emotions, then yeah, you could trade this because you'll understand the different levels you're looking at. The level we're looking at first is right here, 28,300. The next level is right here, 28.9, critical level. This is probably this is much more important than this level because if we can't get past these lows, if we get a strong rejection off this, I'd be very concerned. But this trade, yes, you could still hop in it, but this area right here oops. This area right here is where the trade, trading that breakout was the aggressive move. And then this area where it reversed down, this was the next alternative for the smarter trade. And if you want the conservative trade, and this is where it gets a little bit frustrating, the conservative trade is when we take out this level. But the context of the chart is this is a hard trade to take. Why this trade? Because you push up, you come down, you test this level as support, and we got support above that. Great. But that also means that this high, the break of this high is a confirmation of this move going higher. But in the context of this chart, this is not a very clear trade to take because directly above this high is the level we're really looking for, which is 28.9. How do you feel about the new time? Well, I love it. But hey, remember everybody, shout back out. Remember everybody, the BitLab Academy stream live is at 11:30 Eastern time, Monday through Friday here on BitLab Academy. I will also be adding next week a morning stream where I'm essentially breaking down the charts. Not just, it's not going to be primarily like walking through TA. It'll be having some TA setups, looking at some on-chain metrics, looking at some other charts to give everybody a good start to their day, what charts to be looking at, what they're indicating about the context of the market, both traditional markets and crypto, because remember, the traditional markets affect the sentiment and the directions in crypto as well a good portion of the time. So make sure you tune into that. It's going to start Monday this coming week. It's going to be at 10 a.m. Eastern time. I will post out about that and let you all know again. But I love you all. Coming back to the charts. Hopefully I won't be sick by then. We also see with this pushing to the upside. We see with this pushing to the upside. Let me delete some of these lines that have just made it so messy. We see with these lines that formed this parabola, we have the momentum's kind of rolling over, but it still has room to expand if it chooses to continue up. And the reason I say that is the stochastics have come down and kind of reset. We see when these stochastics reset, it gives a lot of room for movement to the upside. In this case, they came down for a while. Over here, they came down. We want to really watch this. So let's get down to the 4 hour. Let's see what's going on. Okay, RSI is starting to roll over. It's starting to get a little bit of weakness. It makes sense. We're in the order block area. 1 hour. Stochastics are rolling over into this. So I'd be a little bit cautious here. Now let's go down to, let's look at some coins we haven't looked at in a while. Let's look at HBAR. When's the last time we looked at HBAR? HBAR, that's not a good chart. Let's do another one. There we go. No, it's too Binance. Okay, we got, see some coins have started to break out. HBAR is still coming up to test this area. And then what we're going to look for is understanding we have this order block region directly above us, but we have the previous lows. This is where I'm looking for. When this price action starts to break this zone right here, is it going to touch this order block zone, find support, and then move up? Or is this just going to move up for a quick liquidity grab and come back down? We're going to have to pay attention to this. We do have stochastics are low. RSI is taking a little bit of a breather right now as well. So right now is not the move. We want to see once we get up into this territory. But HBAR is looking like it's setting up. If it does get rejected, well, we have a falling sort of channel here. You see? So if this does get rejected, we're looking right back here at 477. If we lose that, then we're going to be looking at further downside. If we come over here, MATIC, how's MATIC doing? MATIC starting to push up. What did MATIC do? MATIC broke the previous lows right here. Broke that. Great. Now the question is, coming up into the order block region just above this, got rejected, came back down. Now we're trading in this sort of zone right here where all the previous price action was. If we're leaning bullish on MATIC in terms of the strategy we want to employ and how we're going to trade this, then we would want this to hold in this region because this is essentially where the previous, all the trading was before. Price memory, areas of interest, liquidity is interested in this price zone. So if bulls come in and defend this territory where we're at right now, then there's a play to be made for this to continue higher and test the top side of this range over here. If we get rejected here and we lose essentially this teal line, which is the point of control, if we lose this, then I think that we will likely, one, be coming to here, which is the previous lows here, and then very likely retesting down here to 544. So 55 and then 544 if we lose this point of control. But this has got the momentum angled up. We got the green bars. You see green bars, how these are white and these are green. There's buying pressure in there. My concern here is that the stochastics are rolling over and the RSI is angled down. Now, this is not necessarily a bad thing. Excuse me. If sometimes you want this to happen, I'll tell you why. When you see the price action pushing up and we find a little bit of resistance and we're getting a rejection, it's kind of a good thing if we see the stochastics roll over in the RSI. If this holds in this direction for, 2 or 3 bars, just right in this region, above this point of control line, above this area of interest, and while it's holding there, the stochastics come down and reset, and the RSI comes down and resets, that's ultimately very bullish, because that means bulls came in and defended the zone. The stochastics and the RSI basically reset and then refuel to have that energy, that fuel to drive up the hill further. Does that make sense? So let's look at comp. Haven't looked at this one in a while. All right, we're testing. We broke past this zone here. We came up, tested it, rejected, came back, broke through it. Now we're looking at this this zone right here, this previous high, which is exactly, look at this, exactly where this rejected from. We also have this giant order block here. So that's the level I'm looking at there. Next level I'm looking at is up here at 45, 46. So first level we rejected at, which is 44.61. On this level, same thing as MATIC. If this comes down, we want this to hold above 43.65, 43.75 region, this point of control line. This would maintain higher lows while also maintaining these previous lows, and this high bouncing in this territory would be a strong bounce. And then we'd be looking at coming back up, reapproaching 44.67, 44.53. Next level up would be right here, 46.97. And note, we have a lot of liquidity interest here with this order block right above us, and then another order block right at the top side for both of these. The top side of each one of these next higher previous range lows. So let's look at MINA. How many people out there hold MINA? Let me know if you're holding MINA. And what do you like about MINA? One I'm somewhat interested in, but okay, we're getting the roundingness. What does roundingness mean? Roundingness means likely change of direction is brewing. The narrative of the bears is evaporating. The bulls kind of start to stretch their muscles and say, okay, let's make some moves if all things happen in support of that. Now, this is a little bit messy because we got a liquidity push up, chop down, chop back up, chop down. So this has sort of cleared out liquidity in both directions. Now we can potentially move up and test this zone right here, which is essentially 40 cents, 40.7. Money flow, yes, I look at money flow all the time, and sometimes I don't mention it just because it's part of what I'm already seeing. And so, especially like right now, we see you see this sort of curvature. If you look at it, let me see. See this curvature? So we got money flow coming in. That's why you get the gray into blue sort of zone. This is money flow coming in, right? So this signified right here, option V. Now double click here. I do the option V so it marks exactly on the chart where these things happen. So look at this. Money flow is still negative, but it's starting to squeeze up towards the zero line. See that? Starting to squeeze up towards the zero line. And right here, we're getting some positive money flow. The question is going to be, though, is this going to be strong enough money flow to convince, to put the buying pressure on to get this to tap this zone here and follow through? I don't know if it is yet. Let's look at this on the daily to get a better picture. Now, looking at all these different, we still see we have negative money flow here, and it's a little bit undecided. Why do I say undecided? Because you see how it's purple for negative and blue for positive. Now, I want you also to notice there's these gray areas with no color. The reason those are gray, it's not an error. It's because there's almost a net, not really movement. It's just kind of like a non-signal signal. So it's just kind of staying as is. There's not really money going in or out. It's just kind of stagnant. So while this is pushing up and kind of flushing out a bit like a heartbeat, again, what we're looking for here is for the price action to tap this zone up here at 40.6 if the bulls have any conviction to get there. As it stands right now, this very potentially could roll over. So this is sort of, for me, looking at this, coming back to the 1 hour, if I'm looking at it like this, we have a pretty strong, we have our level there on the 1 hour chart, push up, bounce, push up, bounce. Now notice on this push up the second time, oops, I want to measure this. Look at that, pushed up right into the golden pocket, rejected, came back down, found support. This is going to be a little bit of a key zone. We're already trying to fight to break this high. We're getting a little bit of a pullback right now, very small. This is a 1 hour candle. So we want to take out the 39.3 if we can, then I think we are going to tap up into this 40 zone. And if we take that out, then the curvature suggests now we start working our way up to test these lows, which is up here at 42.6. Now, what else we got? Link, how's Link doing? Link is looking a little choppy. Oops. Let's go to the 12 hour. So we've had this sideways range. Boom, 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 boom. Let's go ahead and delete. Delete that. Okay. So I'm going to delete this. All right. So Link, look at this. Push up, work its way up, collapse back down, flush out this liquidity. Let's actually look at this, option F. Where did it come down into? Came right down into the golden pocket. This is the most of the volatility, the price interaction was right here around the golden pocket. Now we push up, find support on it, launch back up, and we're trying to test breaking this high. Now this is a critical sort of juncture because we can see we have this sort of sideways range, but in reality we got a little bit of, look at this, boom, 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 boom. So coming here, the fact that we did not break this previous high, when we notice that we do have this descending level, of resistance that we've been tapping into, this kind of makes more sense. So if this does find support here, which it looks like it has, bounced right here on this point of control, just disappear because we're where we're looking. If we can get back up here and take this level out, then the next key level that we're going to be looking at in reality, yes, we can look at these highs, but it's this sort of region right here of all these very, let's delete that. All these very important highs in this region, which also kind of gave us that, also gave us the level for which defined this range that we have been in. And we've kind of been breaking down from this range. So we're going to tap this. This is going to be critical up here at 937. So let's watch for this breakout at 814 if we can get it. If we're not, then maybe we're going to come down and maybe this, what we thought was a sideways range is actually going to end up being sort of falling channel like this with these two things being deviations. Everything's kind of contingent on what direction the market goes right now. So let's be patient. Now let's look at a couple more. Solana. Who's my Solana? Where are my Solana holders out there? Is there any indication that Link will go up there? We had some good news around it recently, and it hasn't broken the range. So I think things are waiting on when we get positive sentiment to come back in the market. In fact, I had this story here, not this one. I decided just not to do all the stories today. This is not it. That's right here. Factors, 3 factors behind Bitcoin's inability to conquer 28,000. I know you asked about Link, but this is broadly about the economic situation and the pressures on risk not performing well. As an investment asset, trends in the global underlying impact is shaping, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah. Reduced interest. Besides, the Bitcoin futures premium has continued to trade below the healthy neutral benchmark of 5%. Typically, the Bitcoin futures premium defines a readiness of future traders to delay settlement of their contracts. This metric is expected to be between 5% and 10% annually. So this is basically showing the smarter money players in the space are showing a lack of interest in the space, which means they're signaling risk off. Bitcoin ETF hope stash. Nothing's really happened there. Every time we've had a potential thing, it's like we're getting these consistent delays. Now, again, could that just all be shattered and they just mass approve everything sometime in October, or later this year? Yes, but as it stands right now, it's not looking like that is the most likely outcome. And then there was a third one here. I don't remember what it went. Macroeconomic conditions. Things are not looking incredibly bullish at the moment for the pressures outside of the market. And the pressures outside of the market, if they're bad, we can get a bullish push like we just saw up to 28,500 for Bitcoin. Everybody wants it to go up, and it just gets rejected and comes back down below 28. So we got a little bit Solana here. We got a little bit of a rising level of support. We have this, is this a rising wedge though? A little bit of a rising wedge. Okay. That's 12 hour. Let's look at this on the 4 hour. So, okay, boom, boom, boom. We're going to adjust this just a touch. There we go. So we got a bit of a bull flag here. Great. Man. So this is somewhat promising. If this were to break out, where would this go? Look at that, right up to the upper side of the range. We have a couple order blocks right above us, but if this does break out to the upside, then we have a target. Does it mean it's going to go all the way to the target? Well, remember, we've got this level right here, which is this previous highs. Then we have the lows right here, which is great. Look at where we're trading right now. We're trading above the lows of this range, which means we're finding support here, which is great. It's a bullish thing that supports the narrative of this being a bull flag. But just note that once it starts pushing up, there's a possibility of a bit of a rejection at the zone 2551. If we do break out to the upside. So just be prepared on this and scale your stop loss up fairly tight to the zone when it gets up there in case it does reverse, that you're able to exit in profit. But I think that's all I got for today, guys. The whole point with all this, understand the frustrating economic sort of pressures that are happening on the market right now, and don't expect things just to rocket to the moon because you want them to. The markets are going to move contrary typically to what your innermost desires want. So why don't you just look at the strategy, pull the data points, and stack yourself in the favor of having profitable decisions and make money in both directions, or make money on the way up and remember and learn to take profit and make money on the way down, even if you don't short, by allowing the patience in you to let the prices come down and get into zones that offer you better entries with more capital because you took profits. Prices dropped. Now you're not frustrated that prices dropped. Once you took profits up there, you want prices to drop as far as possible so you can get more of that asset. So when you have these strategies in place, you can do it. If you haven't yet, make sure you check out bitlabacademy.com and join us here in all the different courses that we have. And part of the membership with BitLab is it gives you access to our BitLab Discord, where we have so many different charts and chats and member streams and so many different things here within BitLab, all part of the membership with BitLab Academy. So with that being said, I love you all. I appreciate you all. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, ding the bell, and I will see you. I think I'll probably, we have a stream tomorrow. I should say that. It's an interview, another interview that we're doing. So tune in for that. It's going to be at about, it'll be probably 10:30 a.m. Eastern time is when I'm going to schedule it. So I'll see you there, and I will see you on Monday morning, 10 a.m. We got the first of the morning sort of early chart setup. With that, I bid you adieu. Adios. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Hope I'm not sick again. Go outside and kiss a tree. Later, suckers.